Imagine you're on a beach, the sun is shining, the waves are gently crashing, and you've got a cold drink in your hand. For most people, that's the definition of paradise, a place to relax and forget all your problems. But what if I told you that some beaches are the exact opposite? What if instead of relaxation you found extreme danger? We're talking about beaches where the biggest threat isn't a sunburn, but getting blown away by a 747, dragged out to sea by an unstoppable current, or even coming face to face with a great white shark. It sounds insane, but these places are 100% real, and people go to them every single day, sometimes with deadly consequences. Today, we're going on a crazy tour of the places you'd never want to lay your towel down. We're going to explore beaches that are so hazardous, they seem like they're straight out of a horror movie. From shores littered with ancient shipwrecks, to waters infested with sharks and deadly jellyfish, these locations are the definition of extreme. Forget everything you know about a peaceful day at the seaside, because what you're about to see will completely change how you view the ocean. We're counting down the most lethal, terrifying, and absolutely insane coastal spots on the entire planet. This is going to be wild, so yeah, buckle up. These are the most dangerous beaches in the world. Kicking things off, we're at Sunset Beach in St. Martin, and this place is absolutely nuts. You might think the biggest danger here is getting a bad sunburn, but you'd be wrong. The real threat comes from massive airplanes. This beach is right at the end of the runway for Princess Juliana International Airport, and I mean right at the end. When jumbo jets like a Boeing 747 or an Airbus A380 come into land, they fly just a few feet over your head. It's an incredible sight, and hundreds of tourists gather here every single day just to experience it, holding their phones up to get the perfect shot. It's a massive tourist attraction, but it's also incredibly dangerous. The landings are one thing, but the takeoffs are where it gets really crazy. When these giant planes power up their engines for takeoff, they create a jet blast so powerful it can literally blow you off your feet and into the water. There are warning signs everywhere, in multiple languages, telling people to stay away from the fence because the jet blast can cause serious injury or even death. But do people listen? Absolutely not. They cling to the fence to feel the full force of the blast. People have been seriously injured here, and tragically a woman was killed after being thrown by the force of the blast. This isn't a theme park ride, it's a real, active airport runway next to a beach. Next, we're heading to Hawaii, but not to the paradise you see on postcards. This is Hanakapiai Beach on the island of Kauai, and it's earned a terrifying reputation. The beach itself looks stunning with golden sand and dramatic cliffs, but the water here is a death trap. There's no protective reef barrier, which means the powerful ocean currents and riptides from the open Pacific Ocean slam directly into the shore. These currents are so strong and unpredictable that they can pull even the most experienced swimmers out to sea in a matter of seconds. Once you're caught, there's almost no chance of getting back. The shoreline is littered with warning signs, but the most chilling one is a handmade wooden sign keeping a tally of the people who have drowned here. The number is over 80. It's a grim, constant reminder of the ocean's power. Local authorities strongly advise against even wading into the water, because waves can appear out of nowhere and sweep you off your feet. Despite the clear and present danger, tourists who make the challenging 2-mile hike to get here are often tempted by the beautiful water. It's a tragic example of how looks can be deceiving, turning a picturesque landscape into one of the deadliest spots in the ocean. If you have a fear of sharks, you might want to skip this one. We're in Gansby, South Africa, a place known globally as the Great White Shark Capital of the world. The channel between Dyer Island and Geyser Rock is so densely populated with these apex predators that it's been nicknamed Shark Alley. This is because the area is home to a massive colony of around 60,000 seals, which is basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for great white sharks. Swimming here is, to put it lightly, a terrible idea. The chances of a close encounter with a great white are higher here than almost anywhere else on Earth. But what's absolutely crazy is that this extreme danger has become a massive tourist attraction. Thousands of adrenaline junkies flock to Gansby every year for one reason: shark cage diving. They literally pay to be lowered into these shark-infested waters in a metal cage to come face to face with these incredible and terrifying creatures. While cage diving is considered relatively safe, the sheer number of great whites in the area makes any activity in the water incredibly risky. It's a place where you are not at the top of the food chain, and the ocean constantly reminds you of that fact. This isn't just a beach, it's the shark's territory. Now, we're going to one of the most remote and inhospitable places on the planet, the Skeleton Coast in Namibia. This beach gets its name for a reason. The coastline is littered with the rusting skeletons of over 1,000 shipwrecks, victims of the dense fog, treacherous currents, and shifting sandbanks that have plagued sailors for centuries. The wrecks are a haunting sight, with some ships half buried in the sand miles from the current shoreline, showing just how much this landscape changes. It's a graveyard for ships, and for many of the sailors who were on them. But the danger doesn't stop with the water. If you were shipwrecked here and managed to survive the ocean, your problems were just beginning. Behind the coast lies the Namib Desert, one of the driest and oldest deserts in the world. You'd face hundreds of miles of barren sand dunes with absolutely no fresh water and no hope of survival. The local bushmen called this the land God made in anger. It's a brutal, unforgiving environment where nature is constantly trying to kill you, whether it's the violent ocean or the scorching desert. It's less of a beach and more of a final resting place. We're back in the US, this time in Florida, at New Smyrna Beach. On the surface, it looks like your typical popular American beach packed with families, surfers, and sunbathers. But this beach holds a very specific and very scary world record. It's the shark bite capital of the world. More people have been bitten by sharks here than anywhere else on the planet. According to researchers, anyone who has ever swum at New Smyrna Beach has likely been within 10 feet of a shark. That is an absolutely terrifying thought. It's not a matter of there are sharks in the water, but how many. The reason for all the bites is a massive population of bull sharks and blacktip sharks that are attracted to the area to feed on bait fish. Surfers are particularly at risk, as the sharks can mistake a dangling foot or hand for a fish. What's truly unbelievable is that despite hundreds of documented bites over the years, not a single one has been fatal. They are mostly hit and run attacks where the shark bites, realizes it's not a fish, and swims away. This bizarre fact seems to give people a false sense of security because the beach remains incredibly popular. People just accept the risk of getting bitten as part of the experience of surfing here. Our next stop is Fraser Island in Australia, the largest sand island in the world and a place that, honestly, wants you dead. This isn't an exaggeration, the list of dangers here is insane. Let's start with the water. The ocean is full of dangerous sharks and deadly jellyfish, including the Irukandji jellyfish, which is tiny, nearly invisible, and has a sting that can cause excruciating pain and potentially fatal brain hemorrhages. On top of that, the riptides are notoriously strong and have claimed many lives. So, swimming in the ocean is basically off limits. You might think the freshwater lakes on the island are safe, but you'd be wrong. On land, you have to deal with the island's famous dingoes. While they look like regular dogs, they are wild animals and can be very aggressive, especially if they feel threatened or see people with food. There have been numerous attacks on tourists, including a fatal one on a young boy. If that's not enough, you also have to watch out for venomous spiders and snakes. Even the sand itself can be hazardous, as driving on the soft sand tracks leads to dozens of vehicle rollovers every year. Fraser Island is a beautiful UNESCO World Heritage Site, but it's a place where you have to be constantly aware of your surroundings, because almost everything can hurt you. We're now in Brazil, at Praia de Boa Viagem in the city of Recife. This is a beautiful 2-mile-long urban beach lined with skyscrapers and hotels, and it's incredibly popular with both locals and tourists. But since the early 1990s, it has become one of the world's most notorious hotspots for shark attacks. Before 1992, attacks were virtually unheard of here. Then suddenly they started happening with terrifying regularity, with over 60 attacks and more than 20 fatalities, giving it one of the highest fatality rates for shark attacks in the world. It's a horrifying problem for a city that relies on its beaches for tourism. So what changed? Researchers believe the problem was man-made. The construction of a major port complex nearby disrupted the coastal ecosystem and destroyed the breeding grounds for bull sharks. This forced the sharks to move closer to shore to hunt in the estuary, right where people swim. On top of that, a local slaughterhouse used to dump blood and offal into the river, which flowed into the ocean and attracted even more sharks. The government has put up hundreds of warning signs and banned surfing, but people still go in the water. It's a tragic and terrifying example of how human interference can create a deadly conflict with nature. This next beach is dangerous not because of animals or waves, but because of what's in the water. This is Chowpatty Beach in Mumbai, India. It's one of the most famous beaches in the country, a major gathering spot for festivals, families, and tourists. However, it's also one of the most polluted beaches in the entire world. The water here is a toxic soup of raw sewage, industrial waste, and garbage that flows directly into the sea from the city of Mumbai. The level of fecal coliform bacteria in the water is thousands of times higher than what is considered safe for swimming. Despite the obvious filth with trash often washing up on the sand and the water looking murky and brown, people still enter the water, especially during religious festivals. Swimming here is incredibly risky, exposing you to a whole host of diseases like typhoid, gastroenteritis, and hepatitis. The sand itself is also heavily contaminated. In 2011, a cargo ship capsized nearby, spilling tons of coal onto the beach and making the situation even worse. While there have been massive cleanup efforts, the scale of the pollution from a city of over 20 million people is just overwhelming. It's a beach where the biggest threat is an invisible army of bacteria. For our next beach, we're going back to Hawaii, but this time to the Big Island, to Kilauea Beach. The danger here is on a completely different level. This beach is located on the slopes of Kilauea, one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. For decades, molten lava from the volcano has flowed across the island and poured directly into the ocean, creating new black sand beaches almost overnight. While the sight of glowing red lava hitting the blue ocean is one of the most spectacular natural phenomena you can witness, getting close to it is unbelievably dangerous. The area is a minefield of hazards. The new land created by the lava is unstable and can collapse into the sea without warning. When the hot lava, which is over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hits the cold seawater, it creates a massive plume of steam filled with hydrochloric acid and tiny particles of volcanic glass. Breathing this in can cause permanent lung damage. On top of all that, the water near the lava flow is heated to scalding temperatures. Despite the extreme dangers, some photographers and tourists try to get as close as possible for the perfect photo, risking their lives to witness the raw power of creation and destruction. We're heading down to Mexico to a beach with a name that, well, says it all: Playa Zipolite. In the local Zapotec language, the name is thought to mean Beach of the Dead. For decades, this place has really lived up to its ominous name. It's a beautiful, long stretch of sand that became famous back in the 60s and 70s as a hippie haven, and is now one of Mexico's most well-known nude beaches. But beneath its relaxed, bohemian vibe, there's a deadly secret, incredibly powerful rip currents and a violent undertow that have claimed the lives of countless swimmers over the years. The beach faces the open ocean, and a steep drop-off just offshore creates waves that are way more powerful than they look from the shore. Unsuspecting swimmers can be pulled out to sea in an instant. For years, the drowning rate was so high that it really cemented the beach's morbid reputation. In 1995, a volunteer lifeguard team was finally established, and they've drastically reduced the number of deaths through constant patrols and by educating swimmers about which areas are safer. However, the danger is always there. The lifeguards perform hundreds of rescues every year, fighting to make sure the Beach of the Dead doesn't claim any more victims. This next one is dangerous in a way that science can't easily explain. We're back in India, at Dumas Beach in Gujarat. This beach has black sand, which is a result of its high iron content, but local legends have a much darker explanation. For centuries, this area was used as a Hindu burial ground, where bodies were cremated. Locals believe that the spirits of the dead still linger on the beach, and that this is why the sand is black, from the ash of the cremated bodies mixing with the sand over time. It's a place that's really steeped in paranormal lore. People who visit the beach, especially after sunset, report hearing strange whispers and voices when there's no one around. There are stories of tourists and locals going for a walk on the beach at night and simply vanishing, never to be seen again. Dogs are said to behave erratically here, barking at things that aren't there or just refusing to go near certain parts of the beach. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the sheer number of creepy stories and unexplained disappearances associated with Dumas Beach is enough to make it a terrifying place to be after dark. It's a beach where the biggest fear is not what's in the water, but what's walking on the sand beside you. Let's go back to Australia, to a place that Captain James Cook himself named Cape Tribulation, after his ship nearly sank on a reef here. The name is still fitting today because this place is a triple threat of danger. First, the water. From November to May, the coastal waters are infested with deadly box jellyfish. Their sting is one of the most painful in the world and can kill an adult human in minutes. So swimming during these months is basically suicide unless you're wearing a full body protective suit. If you somehow avoid the jellyfish, you still have to worry about the crocodiles. Saltwater crocodiles, some of the largest and most aggressive in the world, inhabit the estuaries and sometimes even venture out onto the beaches. There are warning signs everywhere telling you not to go near the water's edge, and if you decide to escape into the lush rainforest that meets the beach, you have to be on the lookout for cassowaries. These are giant, flightless birds with a dagger-like claw on each foot that they can use to disembowel a human if they feel threatened. Jellyfish, crocodiles, and killer birds. Cape Tribulation is a place where nature has deployed all of its deadliest weapons. We're visiting South Africa again, but this time we're at Second Beach in Port St. John's. While Gansby is famous for great whites, this beach is notorious for attacks by another, arguably more aggressive species, the bull shark. This beach, located on the country's wild coast, has seen a terrifying spike in shark attacks, particularly on surfers. Over a short period, there were 8 fatal attacks in this small area, making it one of the deadliest shark attack locations in the world. The community was left shocked and terrified, with many local surfers giving up the sport they loved. Scientists believe the attacks are linked to the nearby Umzimvubu River, which bull sharks are known to frequent. They are one of the few shark species that can tolerate fresh water and often travel far upriver. Local traditions and rituals, which sometimes involve animal sacrifices near the river mouth, may also be unintentionally attracting sharks closer to the popular beach. The attacks became so frequent and brutal that the beach was temporarily closed, and many now consider it a no-go zone for swimming or surfing. It's another tragic case where a beautiful surf spot has turned into a place of fear and death. Not all dangerous beaches are hot and tropical. For our next one, we're heading way up north, above the Arctic Circle, to Utøya Beach in Norway. This beach is often voted one of the most beautiful and romantic beaches in the world, especially for watching the northern lights. It has pristine white sand and turquoise water that looks like it belongs in the Caribbean. But don't let its looks fool you. The water temperature here, even in the middle of summer, rarely gets above 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or 10 degrees Celsius. In the winter, it's near freezing. The primary danger here is severe hypothermia. Even a few minutes of exposure to water this cold can incapacitate you, leading to drowning. The air temperature can also be brutally cold, and the weather is notoriously unpredictable, with storms capable of rolling in with little warning. Despite this, some brave, or honestly maybe crazy surfers try to ride the Arctic waves, and tourists sometimes take a quick, freezing dip. It's a stunningly beautiful place, but it's a beach where the environment itself is the biggest threat. A wrong move here won't lead to a shark bite, but to your body shutting down from the sheer, numbing cold. For our final beach, we're coming full circle to a place so famous for its danger that it had to be on our list. Maho Beach in St. Martin. This is the sister beach to Sunset Beach, which we saw earlier. They are literally right next to each other and share the same insane feature. They are at the end of the runway of Princess Juliana International Airport. Maho Beach is the more famous of the two, and is where you'll find the iconic Sunset Bar and Grill, where the flight schedule is posted on a surfboard. It's the epicenter of this bizarre and dangerous tourist attraction. Every day, crowds gather here, cameras ready, to watch massive commercial airliners skim just feet above their heads. The noise is deafening and the experience is both thrilling and terrifying. Just like at Sunset Beach, the real danger is the jet blast from departing aircraft. The force is strong enough to sandblast your skin, send bags and chairs flying, and knock people into the concrete barriers or the water. Despite numerous injuries and one fatality, the spectacle continues to draw thousands of people. It's the ultimate high-risk, high-reward photo opportunity, and without a doubt, one of the most uniquely dangerous beaches on the entire planet. And there you have it, the most dangerous, terrifying, and absolutely insane beaches in the world. From getting blown away by a jumbo jet to swimming with great white sharks and exploring haunted shores, these places prove that not every beach is a paradise. It's crazy to think that people willingly go to these spots, whether it's for the thrill, the perfect photo, or just because they don't understand the real danger. It really makes you appreciate a normal, boring beach where the only thing you have to worry about is finding a good spot for your towel. I don't know about you, but I think I'll stick to those from now on. These beaches are a powerful reminder that nature is not a theme park. The ocean is an incredibly powerful and unpredictable force, and we have to respect it. Whether it's rip currents, sharks, or even the pollution we put into it, the dangers are very real. Seeing these places makes you think about the risks people are willing to take for an experience. So what do you guys think? Are the people who visit these beaches brave adventurers or just completely insane? Let me know your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to use the hashtag #JockAdai so I can read them. Which of these beaches would you never visit, not even for $1 million? This was a crazy video to make, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor. Like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.